Hello there, good evening, and thank you for joining us on Mega News Live on MBN TV. We are also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at MBN 360. Moving on to the major headlines. Government announces special support package for Guinean evacuees from South Africa. In business, Ghana cedi records sharpest 2026 dollar loss yet. And on the international front, more deaths reported from suspected Ebola cases as WHO warns of possible rise. We have the details of these stories and more. My name is Naja Modut, and now the news in detail. The government of Ghana has announced a special support package for Ghanaian evacuees returning from South Africa amid growing concerns over the welfare and reintegration of citizens affected by recent tensions and displacement abroad. Authorities say the intervention package will include temporary accommodation, psychosocial support, healthcare assistance, and economic reintegration measures aimed at helping returnees rebuild their lives. Government officials indicate that the initiative forms part of broader efforts to protect Guinean citizens overseas while strengthening emergency response mechanisms for nationals caught in crisis situations. The development has renewed conversations about migrant safety, diplomatic engagement, and the need for sustainable support systems for returning citizens. Analysts say the success of the program will depend on timely implementation and long-term reintegration support. Meanwhile, affected families and stakeholders are calling for transparency, coordination, and continued assistance to ensure evacuees transition safely back into society. Attorney General and Minister for Justice Dominic Ayine has rejected claims that the government is suppressing free speech, accusing the opposition New Patriotic Party of exaggerating recent developments of political advantage. According to Ayine, the current administration remains committed to democratic governance, the rule of law, and the constitutional rights of citizens, insisting that criticism and dissent continue to thrive openly across the country. His comments come amid growing political tension and allegations from the NPP that state institutions are being used to intimidate opposition voices and critics of government. But the Attorney General argues that lawful investigations and legal processes should not be misconstrued as attacks on free expression, stressing that no individual is above the law. The exchange has intensified the national debate over political tolerance, freedom of speech, and the balance between security enforcement and democratic accountability as Ghana's political atmosphere continues to heat up.
The Constitution deals with the fundamental human rights and freedoms. Look at Article 21, which guarantees the fundamental, right to free speech, to the right to demonstrate, and then the general freedoms of Ghanaians. But there are limits, all right? You can limit free speech if, for instance, it is something that, one that can undermine public order, all right, or public morals, okay? And for instance, for law enforcement reasons. So if someone, for instance, is inciting hatred in our society, okay, we do not expect that the minority will say that we should sit down idle as a government and allow that person to, to go on. Because those are some of the things that led to wars in countries such as Rwanda. We have not gotten there, okay, but it was the use of the radio, okay, the use of the media, that incited the genocide that eventually took place in Rwanda. So there are limits to free speech, and I will say that the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is one of the staunchest supporters of free speech, because he himself, is, a communicator by, he's a communication specialist. I don't want to say he was a journalist, all right, but he was into, communication. And so he understands the importance of free speech in a democratic society. As Attorney General, I do understand the importance of free speech in a democratic society. And I would be the last person, okay, to want to run the rights of our citizens to freely express themselves. But I should also not be the person who will sit idle when matters are being taken into citizens are taking matters into their hands when it comes to free expression. Well, as for the threat of arming themselves and making the country ungovernable, I think I will treat it with the contempt it deserves. Okay, but as far as this government is concerned, I want to reiterate that we will respect the rights and freedoms of every Ghanaian.
Leading New Patriotic Party figure Gabi Asare Otchere-Darko has come to the defense of minority leader Alexander Afenyomarkin following controversy surrounding his comments about the judge handling the case involving Kwame Bafo. The remarks by Afenyomarkin sparked public criticism and renewed debate over political commentary on the judiciary, with some legal and civil society groups questioning whether the comments could undermine judicial independence. However, Gabi Otchere-Darko argues that the minority leader's statements should be viewed within the broader context of public accountability and democratic expression, insisting that criticism of judicial processes does not automatically amount to an attack on the judiciary. The development has deepened political tensions between the governing administration and the opposition, while reigniting discussion about the limits of political speech, judicial respect, and constitutional freedoms in Ghana's democracy. Meanwhile, legal analysts continue to caution political actors against comments that may erode public confidence in the courts, especially in politically sensitive cases. Meanwhile, Minister of Education Haruna Iddrisu has signed a strategic memorandum of understanding with Google aimed at strengthening digital learning and expanding technology-driven education across Ghana. The agreement is expected to support digital skills training, teacher capacity building, online learning access, and the integration of modern technology into classrooms as part of efforts to transform Ghana's education sector. Government says the partnership aligns with broader plans to prepare students for the demands of the digital economy while improving access to quality education through innovation and technology. Speaking after the signing ceremony, Haruna Iddrisu emphasized the importance of digital inclusion and equipping young people with future-ready skills to compete globally in an increasingly technology-driven world. Education analysts say the collaboration could help bridge the digital divide, particularly in underserved communities, but stress that infrastructure, internet accessibility, and teacher training will be critical to the success of the initiative. The Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana has threatened a 20% increase in transport fares following what it describes as rising operational costs linked to recent increases in VIP transport and vehicle-related prices. According to the association, commercial drivers are struggling to cope with the continuous rise in fuel prices, spare parts, vehicle maintenance costs, and transport terminal charges, warning that the current situation is becoming unsustainable for operators across the country. The group argues that without urgent government intervention, drivers may be left with no option but to adjust fares upward to stay in business. The development is expected to intensify concerns over the rising cost of living, with commuters likely to face additional financial pressure if the proposed increment takes effect. Transport analysts say the situation highlights broader economic challenges affecting the transport sector and are urging dialogue between government, transport unions, and industry stakeholders to prevent further hardship for both drivers and passengers. Meanwhile, Commuters are calling for stability in transport pricing, insisting that any fare adjustment must consider the economic difficulties already facing ordinary Ghanaian. In other stories, tragedy has struck at Media in the Greater Accra region, where a landlord is alleged to have killed his tenant following a dispute over a 30 Ghana cedis electricity bill. According to preliminary reports, the misunderstanding began over unpaid utility charges, which escalated into a confrontation between the two parties. The altercation is said to have turned violent, resulting in the tenant's death. Residents in the area say they were shocked by the incident, describing the dispute as minor and avoidable, and are calling for calm as investigations continue. The police have reportedly been informed and are expected to commence full investigations into the circumstances surrounding the incident, including the exact cause of death and possible arrests. The case has sparked renewed concern about rising tensions linked to household disputes and the need for peaceful conflict resolution within communities, especially over basic utility payments. We'll go for a break and be back with business. Do stay with us.
So there's some look fast. Baba, me again. Yes, we are late. Me call you, ma'am. Who hear me? Me and sent my friend doctor when I'm crossing over. Share that. See what we saw. Yes, malaria. Malaria. Oh, what they say with the router? Me copy the absence. A drone a friend router mixer. Yeah, come on, let it draw. And running so got trap and the draw crew abaso body assay. Wabo Ruta mixture abaso. Ruta natural products and one Ruta mixture. Yeah, the kutia a treat. Ruta tonic and the Ruta life one. And who a feeling like the bunny, a feeling per diem. Let's support the immune system. Ruta de Obiasia, FDA, I did drinking crap to you.
Welcome back. In business, the Ghana cedi has recorded its sharpest depreciation against the US dollar so far in 2026, raising fresh concerns about currency stability and pressure on the local economy. Recent market data shows the cedi weakening further amid sustained demand for foreign exchange, particularly from importers and the energy sector, coupled with limited dollar supply on the market. Analysts say the continued slide reflects ongoing structural pressures, including FX backlogs, corporate demand for dollars, and relatively slow inflows from key export sectors such as mining and oil. The depreciation adds to earlier signs of volatility since the beginning of the year, when the currency already recorded periodic losses against major trading currencies. Economists warn that the latest drop could further increase import costs, fuel inflationary pressures, and deepen concerns among businesses and households already grappling with high living expenses. Meanwhile, traders expect the cedi's performance to remain under pressure in the short term unless dollar inflows improve or stronger policy measures are introduced to stabilize the foreign exchange market. Also, Ghana has recorded a strong trade surplus of about $5.2 billion, driven largely by a sharp rally in global gold prices and improved exports performance. According to economic data, The surge in export earnings, especially from gold, has significantly boosted the country's external position, helping to offset import pressures and strengthen overall trade balances. Gold remains one of Ghana's key export commodities, and the recent price rally on the international market has played a major role in increasing foreign exchange inflows into the economy. Economists say the development could provide some relief to the cedi in the short term, but caution that structural challenges such as import dependence and energy-related expenditures still pose risks to long-term stability. The strong trade surplus is also expected to support Ghana's foreign reserves position, offering policymakers more room to manage currency volatility and macroeconomic pressures. However, analysts are urging government to channel the windfall into productive sectors, industrial expansion, and value addition to ensure the gains translate into sustainable economic growth rather than temporary relief. We'll go for a break and be back with sports.
Hi, welcome to Shiloh Guest House, where comfort meets warmth. Our serene environment and cozy rooms provides a pleasant stay. To book a room with us, call 055 5940103 and 0241 972076. Locate us at Teshinungwa Estate, number 8 Coconut Street, directly behind A Life Supermarket. Shiloh Guest House, where comfort meets warmth.
In the world of sports, the leadership race in Ghana boxing is heating up as Ivan Bruce Kujo and Rabondodu prepare to contest for the presidency of the National Boxing Governing Body. Contenders are expected to present competing visions for the future of boxing administration, development of grassroots talent, and improvement of Ghana's performance on the international stage. Stakeholders within the boxing fraternity say the upcoming election is crucial, coming at a time when the sport is seeking renewed direction, stronger governance, and increased investments in athletes' development and infrastructure. Supporters of both camps are already engaging key stakeholders with emphasis on rebuilding confidence in local boxing, improving fighter welfare, and restoring Ghana's historic reputation in the sport. Sports analysts believe the outcome of the election could shape the next phase of boxing development in the country, especially in areas such as talent scouting, international exposure, and financial sustainability of the sport. The election is expected to draw significant attention from boxing clubs, coaches, promoters, and fans across the country. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll bring you entertainment update.
introduce you to Farm Global Company Limited. At Farm Global, we offer you variety of groceries and provisions to choose from. Cosmetics, perfumes, bed sheets, undies, boxes, you can mention all. This is our perfume stand, and we have variety of perfumes you can choose from for yourself and your loved ones. We cover Latapa, fragrance world, and quality perfumes that will last long on your body. On our cosmetic section, we have variety of lotions, creams, hair pomades that can keep you going. Let your feet do the talking and your hand do the showcasing. Your babies are not left out. We got you covered. At Farm Global, we make shopping a beautiful experience for you and your family. You can be at home, send your list, and get it delivered for free. Yes, for free. We know you can pay for it, but we want to show appreciation. We bring everything to you at your doorstep. Locate Farm Global on the Nungwa-Boade Road, just opposite Redeemer Chemist. Call us on 0592 0999 52 or 050 384 3633. Farm Global, fast, reliable, and convenient.
In our world of entertainment, Ghanaian dancehall artist Shatta Wale has achieved a major digital milestone as his Safa album surpasses 100 million streams on Audiomack, marking one of the strongest streaming performances by a Ghanaian artist on the platform. The achievement reflects the artist's growing global digital footprint, with the project gaining significant traction across Africa, the Caribbean, and international streaming audiences. Industry observers say the milestone highlights the increasing influence of Ghanaian music in the global digital space, driven by strong fan engagement and consistent online promotion. Fans of Shatta Wale have taken to social media to celebrate their feat, describing it as a major win for Ghanaian dancehall and a boost for the country's entertainment industry as a whole. Music analysts note that the success of Safa reinforces the importance of digital platforms in modern music distribution, where streaming numbers now play a key role in measuring commercial success and global reach. On the international front, health authorities are reporting an increase in deaths linked to suspected Ebola cases, raising fresh alarm across affected communities as the World Health Organization warns that the situation could worsen in the coming days. The World Health Organization says early indicators suggest possible continued transmission, cautioning that delays in detection and reporting could drive further spread if urgent containment measures are not strengthened. Health response teams are reportedly intensifying surveillance, contact tracing, and community education in affected areas in an effort to contain the outbreak and prevent wider transmission. Officials are also urging the public to report symptoms early and avoid contact with suspected cases, while emphasizing strict adherence to infection prevention protocols. The development has heightened regional concern, with health experts warning that rapid community engagement and effective risk communication will be critical in controlling the situation and preventing a larger outbreak. Health response teams are reportedly intensifying surveillance, contact tracing, and community education in affected areas in an effort to contain the outbreak and prevent wider transmission. This brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's do a recap of the major headlines. Government announces special support package for Guinean evacuees from South Africa. In business, Ghana cedi records sharpest 2026 dollar loss yet. And on the international front, more deaths reported from suspected Ebola cases as WHO warns of possible rise. For more news updates, you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube at MBN360. My name once again is Naja Modote. Thanks for staying with us and enjoy the rest of the evening.